Hey guys, my name is Danish and welcome back to the channel. Today we go to Mother Russia, to the Russian Grand Prix on the Sochi Autodrome. So this is the fourth longest circuit in the F1 calendar, and it's quite interesting because the main overtaking point is the start finish straight all the way till turn 2. So that makes the strategy a bit more interesting because you will probably want to be in the front for qualifying. So Mercedes was in the lead as usual in all the three practice sessions, and in qualifying it was Mercedes at the top, but it was a different order than usual. But I'll get to that. Starting off with Q1, everybody did a good run in the first round, and when they did the second run in Q1, Kimi spun out and had to settle for last place, which was sad for Kimi. Yeah, he's getting old, pretty old in this F1 group. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to stay in F1 for next year, but I digress. I cannot say anything because I don't know anything. But Kimi was out in round one along with Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Latifi, and Kevin Magnussen. And also Latifi went from 19th to last place because he had a change of transmission and took a grid penalty for that. And it was a normal Q3 session, but the fun starts in Q2 because everybody did their first runs in Q2 except where Hamilton got his time deleted because he went over the curbs on the turn 3 and the time was deleted, so Hamilton did not have a time to show. And when everybody started going out for the second run in Q2, bam, Vettel was out and he spun out really badly, and that ended the session with a red flag. So the first red flag of this weekend, and hopefully not the last. Fingers crossed. And so this cut the attempt that Hamilton was doing when he was in sector 3 at the time the red flag was shown, so he had to abort the lap. And this was an interesting scenario because there were only 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, and we didn't know if the session would be restarted or it would have just ended, which would have put Hamilton in 15th, which is bad. So the red flag was a short period, but in the end, everybody had 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go from their pit boxes on the pit straight to the start finish straight to start their lap. The lap is 1 minute 40 on a qualifying pace, so on the slow lap they're going to be a lot slower, but this was like a mini race for 2 minutes where 14 cars went out to see who can get to the checkered flag before it turns red, and Hamilton just made it by 1.5 seconds, I think. But that radio conversation between Bono and Lewis was, and I'm going to link that video over here as well because you really have to look at it and enjoy it. But Stroll, I think, didn't get to do his second run, so he did not improve and he got out in Q2 along with Leclerc, Kvyat, Russell, and Vettel. And this was sad because both the Ferraris were out in Q2 and couldn't get to Q3. But yeah, other people like Kvyat who really had a good qualifying because home track for Kvyat, so yeah, he was pretty good in the Q2 qualifying. But Russell was the standout because he came to Q2 from Q1. Williams did not really have the pace for a proper quali time after the engine mode regulations came up, so go Russell. Then in Q3 it was the same typical scenario where the Mercedes was on top and Lewis pulled out a great lap in the first run as well and had a 7/10 of a second gap to Valtteri if I'm correct. But yeah, Valtteri did not show his dominance in Q3. He really did not show his true strength in Q3, which is I think somewhere he has to improve upon. And the lineup was kind of normal, but in the second run of Q3, Lewis again improved on his lap, whereas Valtteri didn't. And Max took advantage of this and came Q2, splitting the Mercedes. We are seeing a trend here now. Lewis, Max, and Valtteri always in the top three. We've seen this all throughout the year, except in 2 races where we had multiple red flags. So yeah, and it was a good boost for Max because he had 2 DNFs in the previous 2 races. So being on the front row must have given him a lot more confidence. And speaking of confidence, we had the first maiden podium sitter for Albon, who was 10th, and The winner for Toro Rosso this year, Gasly, also was in ninth, with other stunning performances from Perez, Ricardo, Sainz, Ocon, and Norris, where Perez was P4, even though he did not get the upgrade package that Stroll got, but still outqualified his teammate, which shows how much talent he still has left. And he should get another seat for the next year's season, because Vettel coming in his place and him being kicked out was a bit disappointing, but alas, that's how Formula One runs. I can't say too much about that. Again, talking about Ricardo, this was a great showing for Renault, because they had got both cars into Q3 and in good positions. So this track really suited Renault and their powertrain, but for some reason, and they had a good showing in the race as well, which I'll get on to. But coming on to the directives that the race director gave was, if you cut the corner of turn 3, you have to take the escape route through the arrow bollards. But if you do miss those, and you will get a time penalty, which was confirmed right after qualifying. So this was really important to keep in mind for the race. Okay, now coming to the race, I really was holding off about not talking about the race, because it started out well in a sense. So I'll split this into two parts. So part 1 was lap 1. Part 2 was lap 6 to the flag. Oh god. This was such a boring race, guys. Come on. I most of the time, after at the end of the race, I always put up a status on Instagram and WhatsApp. Most of the time, if it's an interesting race, I will always put up a status with congratulating the drivers or the teams or the strategy. This time I couldn't put anything. Nothing. If you really want to see those statuses that I usually put up, you can go follow me on Instagram and you can see what I post and enjoy the content that I can produce for you guys. But the race was pretty boring. So lap 1 was a bit interesting, and we had the same thing of lap 1 in Monza and Mugello. So turn 2 incident where Sainz went off, and the turning for that bollarded area of which he had to take was a bit too steep, and he just went straight through and ripped off his left front tire, and that was the end of his race. And this affected the other McLaren as well, because he had to slow down, because he had to go through all the debris of Sainz, and he ended up P20. So sad noises for Norris. And the second incident was at turn 4, where Charles just bumped the rear right of Stroll, and Stroll went into the wall. So this brought out the safety car for I think 5 laps until those cars were recovered. We didn't get a red flag in the race, surprisingly. I don't know, because I think it was a lot easier to take them out, but I digress again. So from lap 6 to lap 53, there wasn't a lot of action in the front. Lewis got 10-second time penalty when this was all going on, because of 2 practice starts infringements. So he had to put that in his pit time. And Lewis was on the softs, because he had to go through all the traffic in the Q2 mayhem. And you can check all of that out. I'll link another video over here as well. So that happened. So Lewis really had to pit a lot earlier than the other front runners who were on the medium tire. So the interesting part was around lap 11 or so, where the 3 new boys, that are the Albon, Norris and George Russell, were fighting for P16, because all 3 of them had pit very early. And that was a good scrap that they were having. And that is a lot of the overtakes were just front runners overtaking, because when Lewis pit, he came out I think P11, and he had to cut through the field, and a lot of the people pitted and gave him the space, and he really did not enjoy the race, because he was stuck managing his tires, and he really didn't. So it was quite a boring race for Lewis, and he really was disappointed, because he was in P1 and Valtteri went from P3 to win the race like he did in 2017. So it was a good day for Valtteri, and Max won at P2 because he stayed at P2 and he did not move, and he was having his own race, because he knew that if the Mercedes was coming to overtake him, he couldn't do anything in terms of power. So he had a good race, because he split the Mercedes and he was happy to be in second. But Valtteri took out to lead in with an 11-point difference that he could cut from Lewis's lead from 55 to 44 now. And in the Drivers' Championship, Max is the only contender who is 33 points behind Valtteri. So other than that, everybody else is around 60 points and cannot fight for the championship. So it was coming down to these three for all the time. Albon really has to come up and show his strength in comparison to Max. Even if he just comes as close as to 3/10 of a second slower than Max, they can accept to keep him in the team. And yeah, it's really difficult to be a competitor to Max, but I digress. I'm going on a tangent. Coming back to the race, we had another scruffle at lap 46 with Albon, Norris, and Gasly for 9th place, where Norris was on old tires, but Albon and Gasly were on new tires and were fighting to get to the points positions. So this is again a fight of cat and mouse with Albon and Norris. They have a bit of a history together, but in the end, Gasly came in front of Albon and he finished 9th, while Albon finished 10th. And the only noteworthy thing other than this was on lap 53, where Roman went off on turn 3 and he couldn't go over the curb. So he tried to go through the bollards, but he actually went through a bollard and tore it to shreds, which brought the VSC. And I was really excited when I saw the VSC symbol, but it lasted for 30 seconds just so that they could fix another arrow symbol for the bollard. And yeah, I was hoping for more to bring a bit more spice to the end of the race, but alas, yeah, it was a bit of a boring race. Hopefully we get a good race after 2 weeks, at least to the level of Monza. Don't even give me the level of Mugello, just give me Monza, I'll be happy. So the finishing lineup was Valtteri as P1, Max P2, Lewis P3 from P1, Perez and Ricciardo holding station at P4 and P5, Charles P6 who came up from P10, Ocon's holding station at P7, Kvyat had a good showing, he went from 11th to 8th, Gasly and Albon staying at 9th and 10th. After that it was a lot of a mix-up because a lot of these people gained places like Giovinazzi, Kevin Magnussen, Vettel, Kimi. Norris was one of the bigger losers here because he lost 7 places, and mostly because he had to deal with Sainz's debris. And Latifi gained a few places and came up in 16th. Grosjean lost a place and came 17th, and at the end it was George Russell who got the end of the pack. It was a bit disappointing for Williams, but I think that's the end of the race and the end of this video. Hope you like this video. If I missed anything, comment in down below. Get subscribed to the video to see more of my videos on Formula 1 and Moto Talk that I do about living in Bangalore and riding in Bangalore. So if that's interesting to you, give a subscribe, and hope you have a good week ahead. Stay home, stay safe. Peace.